my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, then welcome to my channel, and today's video is going to be my August 2022 TBR. There was a brief moment in time where I was considering not making this video today because, disclaimer, I'm in a reading slump right now. But like I said in my July wrap-up, it's a slump that it seems like certain books are able to overcome. It's finding those books that may be kind of difficult, but we are searching. And because we are searching, why not try to make a TBR anyway and see what happens? So usually I would throw the books that I didn't get done in the previous TBR into this TBR, but I definitely do need a shakeup this month. For the most part anyway, those books are definitely floating around this video, even if they're not directly in it. And we'll see how it goes, because honestly, anything could at this point. But I do have 5 books that I want to talk about today that I have been eyeing. Their content warnings will be linked down below in the description, and we are just going to go in alphabetical order, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so quick correction, we will be going in alphabetical order, but I do have a current read to talk about first, and that book is Fevered Star by Rebecca Roanhorse. So Fevered Star is the sequel to Black Sun. Black Sun is book 1 of the Between Earth and Sky trilogy, and it is inspired by the civilizations of the pre-Columbian Americas. Black Sun takes place in a city called Tova around the time of the winter solstice, which is usually a time for celebration and renewal. Or it would be, but this year the solstice is around the same time as a solar eclipse, which according to the sun priest signifies an unbalancing of the world. At the same time, a ship begins its adventure toward Tova carrying a seemingly harmless passenger, but the captain does have her suspicions about him. Okay, so I am currently on page 78 of this book, which is not far, but we're getting there. Getting back into the story and this world has been a little bit more difficult than I originally anticipated, but I can feel myself slowly regaining that as I keep reading, so that's a really good sign. Especially since Black Sun is a book that did break me out of a really bad reading slump last year, so hoping for a similar result. Black Sun was one of those books for me where I just loved everything as a whole, and I liked the characters, but my feelings for them were mostly just wrapped up in my feelings for everything. But when I started reading Fevered Star, I found myself surprised at how much I had missed these characters. Like, I don't think my brain registered just how much I liked them in Black Sun. And I'm really glad that it's suddenly, realizing that. And once again, I'm not very far from a story standpoint, but I like what I've read so far, and I'm excited to see where everything goes. So next up is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. This is a fantasy inspired by West African folklore that follows a princess and a refugee who have this growing attraction towards one another, despite being on the course to kill one another. So this book is the beginning of my summer TBR for this TBR, and I basically just stood in front of that TBR and asked myself which of these books feel like August to me, and went with my gut instinct. So there's not much logic to it, but it works and I'm going with it. I have been wanting to get into this series for so long now, and I am so excited for this romance. It sounds like it can play with my heart in all of the ways that I want and need and honestly deserve. And it just feels like a book and a story that I can get lost in. There's huge 5-star potential here for me, and I am just so excited. So next up is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. So this takes place on a planet where the remnants of the human race are trapped and being constantly attacked by alien starfighters. Our main character longs to be a pilot, and she discovers that may actually be possible when she finds the wreckage of an old ship. So this is a book that I've owned for a while now. I read the first 3 Reckoners books, which is like Steelheart, Firefight, and Calamity, and those are also by Brandon Sanderson, and they were not my favorite things in the world, unfortunately, but there were things about them that I did really like, and that mostly just comes down to Brandon Sanderson's writing and also the world building. So I'm definitely excited for more of that because I've heard just such amazing things about this author since I started reading. And this book also just sounds like so much fun. It sounds like it has a lot of concepts that I don't read a lot of, but I feel like I should be reading a lot of because there are alien starfighters and that sounds like a good time. For me at least. I'm assuming it's not going to be for the characters, but still. And I also do hope to get into Brandon Sanderson's other series one day, and hopefully this will be the beginning of that journey for me. Or I guess a new beginning for that journey, because there was a beginning. This is the new one. Because I feel like there's a lot of cool stuff, and it's definitely hyped, and I want to be a part of that hype too. So next up is So This Is Ever After by F.T. Lukens. So this follows our main character after he completes his prophecy of saving the kingdom from its evil ruler, and him and his companions now have no idea what to do with themselves. His best friend convinces him to take the throne until the Hare can take his place until she dies, and he is stuck there. He now needs a spouse before his 18th birthday, or he will fade away into nothing. So I read In Deeper Waters by this author last year, and it just carved itself such a nice little place in my heart. And I want the same for this book, because everything about the synopsis just sounds like something that I need in my life. It sounds fun, the romance sounds adorable, and also looks adorable from the amazing cover that I am currently holding in my hand. I cannot wait to read this, and I am so excited for its very existence. And the final book for this TBR is Unraveled the Dusk by Elizabeth Lim, which is the sequel to Spin the Dawn. So Spin the Dawn follows our main character who dresses as a boy and travels to the Summer Palace to achieve her dream of becoming the tailor to the Emperor at the risk of being discovered. However, she and 11 other tailors must compete in a series of challenges in order to prove their artistry and skills. So I just talked about Spin the Dawn in my July wrap-up, and I mentioned there how the ending of that book was one of my favorite parts of the entire story. And that ending just made me so excited for this book right here. And I need to see where it goes, so I went ahead and threw this on this TBR. I also do just want to be back within this author's writing and atmospheres again, and then I also just want to read all of the amazing concepts that I'm sure will be present in this story, because they always are. Spin the Dawn was a 4-star for me, but based on the way it ended, I could see this book getting 5 stars. And I want that for this series, because I read 6 Crimson Cranes before this one, and that was a 5-star, and also just one of my favorite things ever. I will say there are things from book 1 that I am nervous about going into this one, just some conflicting feelings about the romance and the characters, but there was also a lot that I really liked and also even loved about that book, and overall I am just so curious and so ready to see what this book has to offer. Okay, so those are all of the books for this TBR, kind of. It's at least all of the books that are going to be in this video, and hopefully one of them ends up breaking me out of my reading slump, because it needs to happen. So with that, thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and answer the question that'll be around here if you want to do that. And hopefully I will see you here next time. Bye!